Patient, never try skating. Fuck niggas hating.
I recently had somebody tell me that I'm an expert at being single, and I laughed. I don't mind criticism or anything like that, but I agree. I see where that person was coming from. It was actually a loved one of mine too, so their opinion mattered. But my point is that this person said I was an expert at being single because my standards are going to make it a little bit harder to date, and I agree. But the thing is that when you have standards that you set for someone else that you yourself can reach, you don't feel like that's unrealistic or unreasonable. You know, I legit meet my own standards that I set for people in my life, whether you're a friend, family member, or somebody I'm dating, excuse me. The standards I have or uphold you to, I uphold that same standard. And so I feel like it's fair. So I'm gonna go over what I like to call the man's return policy. And no, I'm not referring to the return policy at the grocery store or the Walmart where you read the back of the receipt or wherever it is and it says you have 30 days to return this product for a refund. But you must keep the receipt and you can't open the box. A man's return policy is reversed. It's the policy in which he'd return the woman if she didn't meet his standards. if he purchased or if he vetted or if he invested or if he pursued this woman and she was defective, he'd return her to wherever she came from, her ex, the streets, her roster, move around. He would simply discard this woman. I do understand that every man is not going to agree because we all have different standards. Set your own standard. My standard is based off of my experiences. And like I said before, I uphold my own standards. So that's what makes it unmovable. So without wasting any more of your time, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into a good man's return policy. Under these circumstances, he simply returned her to the streets or wherever she came from. Number one, disrespect, even on the first offense. Now, let me break it down for a second. Even though disrespect is a pretty obvious thing, there are a lot of men that I talk to all the time who are in relationships where disrespect is tolerated. It's nothing to them. They don't really feel like that's a reason to throw that woman back to wherever she came from. They'll tolerate the disrespect. There's even men who engage in disrespect. When a woman disrespects them, they just disrespect her back, and then that's the nature of their relationship. But that's not where I'm at in my head emotionally, or where I'm at in my life. And though that's a toxic cycle that I'd like to not engage in. So my standards with not tolerating any level of disrespect are for several other reasons, right? Let me break it down. And I know it doesn't need to be broken down, but in case I can validate another man, sometimes we know how to say things, but we don't necessarily know how to articulate them. And hopefully if I articulate it, you might, be able to see something and agree or relate to it. So, disrespect, even on the first offense, is definitely part of my return policy. I throw her back to wherever she came from with no remorse. What I've learned is that the level of respect that somebody shows you initially doesn't go up from there. Okay, so when you have somebody who is showing you subpar respect initially upon meeting them, or just when you gauge how much respect somebody has for you, it doesn't go up from there. Now, I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna articulate it in a certain way. What I've learned though in my experience is that it typically goes down from there. If I'm triggered by the lack of respect that somebody has for me, I can bet that moving forward, it'll get worse. I'd be even more triggered. Okay, so that's one thing I've definitely learned about disrespect as to why it's on my return policy. Okay, but let me go a little bit deeper. Over time, it gets worse. and you start to experience emotional damage. When you allow somebody to disrespect you time and time again, you forgive them, take them back, and it keeps happening, your self-worth and value starts to decrease. And you become not insecure, but you just feel, I don't know if depression is the right word to use, but you just feel down. You start to, a piece of you starts to subconsciously believe the things that this person is saying and calling you. So that is the more important reason why disrespect it shouldn't be tolerated. It shouldn't be done, and it shouldn't be tolerated. But this is my own standard. Some men out there don't have a problem with being disrespectful or don't even care that a woman is disrespecting them. But that's, again, I understand that we don't all think alike, but this is just for people who think like me. Disrespect is not something that is overlooked and tolerated in a relationship dynamic. And you will start to feel emotional damage over time. It's very important because now, it spills and bleeds into other areas of your life, and you're not able to perform that well with your other endeavors or business or relationships because something is pulling you down. Okay. It's important for you to note that it can't be tolerated long term. It just can't be. Okay. Next, I would say some people say that respect is earned, not given. And to me, this implies that when they meet somebody, they don't have an initial level of respect for them. They engage with this person and then they figure out to what degree they can respect this person. And I don't agree with that because I feel like respect is shown, not earned. And I also feel like respectful people respect people. Now, you can lose my respect. I'm going to show you respect because that's what I want. And I'm not going to do anything to earn your respect, but be myself. And if being myself doesn't earn your respect, quote unquote, earn your respect, I don't want it. And if you're trying to make me jump through hoops to gain your respect, I don't want it. So my issue with respect, again, is that I wouldn't hold respect hostage from you. You don't need to earn it. I'll give it to you for free. You can lose it for free as well. If you are disrespectful or you don't acknowledge it, whatever, you don't appreciate it, I will simply just take it back. But I'm not going to still deal with you while not respecting you. You lose my presence, everything altogether. Okay. So I struggle with disrespect because I'd be a hypocrite, knowing myself, knowing that when I'm disrespected, I don't have any tolerance for it. I struggle with being disrespectful. I recently had an old friend of mine who, went from being a friend to an enemy in less than 24 hours. And it threw me off because I didn't have any disdain for this person. By disdain, I mean I didn't feel like they were unworthy of my respect at the time when they felt like it was okay for them to not show me any respect. And so initially I wanted to respond, but I couldn't think of anything because I didn't have any, like I said, any disdain for this person. And I'm a respectful person. So I just decided not to engage and I withdrew myself. I'm not going to have a disrespectful involvement or engagement or interaction with anybody because I'm a respectful person. Again, you're going to hear people that claim to be respectful, but they're going to say things like, oh, I'll disrespect you if you disrespect me, or I disrespected that person because they disrespected me. That is a policy that I don't go by. My policy is zero disrespect, even from me. And I'm going to move on to the next point. But the point is, if you disrespect me, I'm gone because I would never disrespect you. Number 2, on a good man's return policy, going missing, or MIA, missing in action. Here goes how this works. And this is from the very beginning. even if we're texting, even if we're not in a relationship yet, and I am trying to I'm being intentional about getting to know you and seeing where things can go. The way relationships start is typically the reason why they end it, especially if you let some things slither through the filter system. And I have a video called The Filter System too. It's very interesting. You might want to check it out. But when you let things slide in the beginning, those are typically the reasons why the relationship didn't work. Even Ashanti said it in one of her songs. She said, the things that we accept be the things that we regret. I always quote that because I thought it appealed to my mind and it resonated with me. But allowing a person or a woman to go missing on you, and this is also referred to as intermittent ghosting, where, you know, in the early stages of courtship or vetting, this woman is attentive and then she'll go a couple of days without responding and she'll leave you on red and she'll go 12 hours and all of this good stuff. Here goes my return policy when it comes to dealing with a woman going missing. Number one, no one is busy for 24 hours. So 24 hours is my cutoff. And I have to uphold this standard as well in order for me to apply it to her or to hold her to this standard. So I'm not saying that if I don't reach out to a woman for 24 hours and she doesn't reach out to me, then, oh, I can be upset that she didn't reach out to me. There are men who are going to do this. There are men who are going to say, she didn't reach out to me. Did you reach out to her? No, I shouldn't have to. Okay. So we're clear. I love to be clear in my videos because there's a lot of rhetoric floating around the manosphere and online dating videos where men are intentionally being toxic and they are having emotional things going on that are unhealthy, and they're teaching unhealthy tactics as far as how to date. And I'll be like, I would never do that. So I want to be clear. That's not where I'm coming from. You have to uphold this standard on your side too. This is how it works for me. This is my standard. So a woman can't go 24 hours without responding to me. So it does imply that I reached out. Okay, I reached out some kind of way, whether it was a phone call. And by the way, I don't do double phone calls and double texting. So I'll call her one time. If she doesn't answer, I'm going to assume she's busy because I can get busy too. I'm busy right now. If someone called me right now, my phone will go to the voicemail. Okay, when I'm done doing what I'm doing, I will reach back out to them respectfully. I wouldn't wait until tomorrow around the same time. What time is it? You know, it's 8:30 p.m. ish. I wouldn't wait until tomorrow 8:30 p.m. ish to reach back out. So this is a standard I can uphold. I will hold someone else to that same standard. No one is busy for 24 hours, especially in this modern time. Everyone has their phone. They're on TikTok. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. If you can't reach out to me within 24 hours, I don't even care. I will return you to sender, the streets, your ex, your roster, whatever it is you got going on. Have a good one. If I'm DMing a woman on online dating app and she takes 24 hours to respond, I unmatch, I delete the conversation, I move on by my life. This keeps me in my self-respect level is sustained. I don't feel like anything, I don't fluctuate. I like sustainability. I like things to be, you know, the same. So as far as how I feel, I like to be stable. So I don't allow the actions of other people to destabilize me. Okay. Furthermore, on a woman going missing, this typically means that her interest is too low to sustain, or that she's living a double life. Now, this also is one of my own standards because I'm not interested in polygamy. I'm not interested in open relationships. I'm not interested in casual dating. So I'm not interested in a woman saying we're just friends, but we go out and we do romantic things and we sleep together and we do all of that stuff. And then she can maintain a roster and she can get with me whenever she feels like she wants to be bothered with me. I don't entertain those type of situations. As to why, you know, a woman living a double life or having other things going on that shouldn't be going on, I would feel like it shouldn't be going on because I'm looking for exclusivity. If we're being intimate, I want to be intimate with one person. I don't want to swap fluids with anybody else. And I don't share under no circumstances. I don't even share with other women. So like I said, I'm not interested in polygamy. I'm not going to say, hey, my girlfriend got a girlfriend. I'm not interested in that personally. That's why I know that this doesn't apply to all men. But in case it does, it validates you and this is how you feel, then, you know, it'll resonate with you. But as far as the return policy, going missing over 24 hours, goodbye. And that is generous. 12 hours is excessive. That's half a day. But I understand you can go work an 8-hour shift and you need some sleep. Sleep can be 8 hours too. So we're talking about 16 hours that is dedicated to work and then sleep. But I know for a fact that your phone was in your hand on those lunch breaks and all that stuff like that. But still, this is being completely lenient with saying 24 hours. So if you hit me up at the 23rd hour, I'd be a little annoyed, but I'd be like, she didn't go a whole day. Moving along. Mind games. Number 3, mind games. Return to sender. Let me go deeper on this one. Mind games, I'm referring to the pull away test. Yes, this is when a woman, again, it could be looked at as intermittent ghosting, where she's attentive and then all of a sudden she falls off. But the pull away test is when she is upfront, everything, the conversations and everything is consistent, reaching out, normal, patterns are going on, or respectful times, and all of a sudden I'm getting ghosted. All of a sudden she's pulling away and she's showing lack of interest. Okay, if she pulls away for any reason, then attachment detached. It's simple and plain. Because I don't care what your reason was. If you thought I was ugly, if you didn't like me, if you didn't like my attitude, my tone of voice, you didn't like something about me, the clothes I wear, I don't care. My circumstances, whatever it might have been, then you need to, you felt like you needed to go explore other options, stay over there. I am not sloppy seconds. I am not second option. You do not get to entertain me, disappear, entertain somebody else, and then return to me if that doesn't work out. Once you have deemed me unfit, leave me there respectfully. Okay. So the pull away test, where a woman pulls away, you know what I'm saying? Or silent treatment. Yes. I don't do silent treatments. You better use your big girl or big boy voice when speaking to me or interacting with me if you feel a certain kind of way and you need to express yourself, because I don't read minds. Okay, so I need to know what's going on, because the reason why I say this, again, this is my own personal feelings. If you tell me what's going on, then you have given me a fair opportunity to make adjustments and to prove myself inadvertently, because I'm not trying to win you over and prove myself to you. But if you tell me that something I said or did bothered you, and you had the nerve and you had the courage to speak up for yourself, then you giving me a fair opportunity to make adjustments in order to keep us in a positive space in our interaction with each other. But for you to not tell me anything, you rob me of the opportunity. So a couple of things gonna happen. I'm gonna keep doing what you don't like because I'm unaware that you don't like it. And then you're going to start building resentment. And then our relationship has just been foiled. It has just been turned toxic. And I don't do toxic, as to why I wouldn't do the silent treatment anyway. I don't care about your justification. Oh, I get silent to avoid confrontation. Grow up. Okay. If you cannot communicate with me, this is my standard. It might not be yours. You might be okay with being passive aggressive, and you might be okay with a passive aggressive partner. But for me, passive aggression, silent treatments, that's out. Return to sender. Another thing that's going to be on my return policy is gaslighting. You know what I'm saying? We hear this term when dealing with narcissism all the time, but gaslighting is when you're trying to make me think that I'm crazy. It's like this crazy making behavior when I know I saw something. I know you said something. I know I heard something. I know you behaved a certain kind of way. And then when I try to hold you accountable and I try to address the issue that I'm having, because I'm going to be vocal about the way I feel, then you want to act like you don't understand what I'm talking about. And you want to act like you don't understand where I'm coming from. And I never did that. I never said that. Oh, if I said that, then I must have meant something else. I must have been in a bad mood, or I must have been hungry. Okay, you see these videos where these girls are walking up the street with some booty shorts, and these guys, which I don't know why they do it, but they do film it. So maybe it's just for the content and the clickbait, but they'll walk up to some girl who's half naked. We all know what that means. See, to some degree, a prosty. Okay, she's a streetwalker, and then he says, "Hey, mom, whoop de whoop," and he tried to talk to her, and then she's like, "Leave, you're not my type. Look at you and look at me." And then when he goes and jumps in the fancy car, she returns. She say, "Oh, I was only acting like that because I was hungry." No, you were acting like that because you didn't see a meal ticket. Then when you see me jump in this Bentley, all of a sudden you thought, "Bing, come up." Tolerating gaslighting, that's out. Return to sender. Next, I would say blame shifting, where you try to accuse me of things that you even do, or where you try to blame me for something that you did. I only did this because you did this, or I wouldn't have never cheated. Cheating would never work with me anyway. But let's just, as an example, someone accusing or blaming you for your shortcomings as to why they came up short. Okay, in any way, shape, or form. Blame shifting. Instead of taking accountability, they want to blame you for what they did. And we all know we're all independently responsible for our own actions. Return to sender. Next on my mind game list of returning, what my return policy would be ignoring me to make me chase you. We hear this with men that tell other men, ignore her so that this woman, you maintain her attention, and that you make a woman chase you and all of this good stuff. Women also do this. Modern women do this. Toxic men do this, and modern men do this. Modern women do this, where they will ignore you, leave you on red. And you hear them say this in videos and to their friends, where they say things like, "Girl, he been talking to himself all month." You hear them when they're saying, "The guy I want to hear from ain't texting me. All I got is these other little lames." You're being called lame. You're being left on red. She is reading it. She doesn't care if you know this. She is ignoring you. And if this works on you, if a woman ignoring you so that you pursue her works, you are dealing with a certain level of codependent. You feel like you must have her. You are persistent beyond it being necessary. You being persistent to get the girl, you are going to be stuck in a persistent cycle of having to chase this woman to keep her attention. She has put you in a position to where you are always going to be seeking her validation and her approval by your behavior, what you're willing to spend, what you're willing to do, how often. You're going to be quick to respond to her. You're going to be quick to contact her because you're going to be afraid. You're going to be in this cycle, this mental cycle, this perpetual cycle, this everlasting cycle of trying to chase her validation. Return to sender. Next category, I would call this one sabotaging. I've dealt with everything I'm mentioning here, but this is on my return policy as well. I'm going to return this woman to sender if she is a sabotager. Let me go. And this applies to even friends or anybody. But let me break it down. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who is a sabotager or who is sabotaging. One, acting incompetent in order to get me to do it for you. Women are big on this. Modern women are big on this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how I'm gonna pay this. I don't know. Acting incompetent as if they have no other means of getting it done so that you step up and do it for them. Return to sender. I am not looking for somebody who is looking to use me. I don't mind being utilized. There's a difference. Initially, the word still means the same thing, but I definitely am a man who can be used as a tool because I know how to fix things, build things, and things on that level. But somebody overly using me, playing incompetent so that I figure out their problems for them. This is another form of dry begging. When somebody mentions an issue or a problem that they have in front of you so that you volunteer your services, but they are very well competent and capable of handling that issue themselves if they apply it themselves. Return to sender. You are getting used. Okay. Over time, you will be exhausted mentally and physically. Okay. Another thing as far as sabotaging that I won't tolerate is pretending to forget agreements. Like I said, this is big for me, and I will return you to sender. If you were supposed to, we agreed that you go do something and then you didn't do it. If you agreed that you were going to do something for me and then you didn't do it. If we had an agreement on something and then you pretend to forget. Now, what if she really forgot, Jerome? Of course, there have to be some leeway realistically speaking, I'm a human too. I forget things, but I'm not going to act like we never had that agreement. I take accountability and say, I forgot. But what I'm referring to is a person who, when they pretend to forget, they pretend that you never had that agreement. This is another form of gaslighting, but it's big because it's involving an agreement. This person agrees to something initially, having zero intentions on doing it. Return to sender. Lastly, in this category of sabotaging, I would say consistently flaking, still relative to sabotaging or to pretending to forget agreements, but not the same thing exactly. If we are constantly pushing back the inevitable, or if we had a date or event or something that needed to be done, and I can't make it, my throat sore. Oh, I can't make it, I got a headache. Oh, I can't make it, I'm on my period. Oh, I can't make it, my son's sick. And it's like back to back to back to back to back. I don't even respond anymore. I lost interest. I'm one of those men who is fueled by someone else's energy. If they want to get something done, if they want to do something, then I match them. I say, okay, you want to do this? Let's do it. Let's get it done. And your excitement is going to fuel my excitement. And I'm going to have my own excitement when it comes to doing things that don't involve you. But when it comes to doing things for you or with you, I am going to match your energy. And then we can get it done. Lastly, my last category, number 5, betrayal. These are all pretty obvious, but I like to go in depth on this one so that I can validate any men out there who might feel the same way, but maybe don't know how to articulate it. When I think of betrayal, and everything I've mentioned is things that I've experienced. So this isn't something that is on the list of things that I saw and I have no knowledge or experience with. But these are things that I went through and that I simply will not tolerate. I will return to sender. Number one on number 5. So it's number 5, but first example of betrayal is telling my business. Do that one time. Tell my business. If I tell you something that was nobody else's business and you told my business, that'll be the first and the last time. If I find out, that's it. Return to sender. Secondly, I would say throwing my business, my vulnerable business, back in my face. If I told you something in secrecy and in confidence and I was being vulnerable with you, and then when you feel like you want to jab me, you want to throw it back in my face and say, that's why you didn't do this, or that's why you failed at doing that. Especially when I expressed myself in a way to where I was disappointed with myself. And then you felt like this was an opportunity for you to lower my self-esteem, or for you to lower my confidence, or just for you to get even and be combative. You're out of there. Return to sender. Return to wherever you came from. You ain't got to go home. You know the rest. Third, I would say interfering with my progress. Obviously, sabotaging. If you are trying to pull me away from something, if a woman is saying, you're always at work, you're always in the studio, I can't do this. Anything that pulls me away from things that I'm trying to accomplish, I can't do it. I need to focus on what I got going on, and then I'll get with you later. That's probably not going to work for her. So I just return to sender. Otherwise, she'd be the type of woman that support me. She'll know that I'm busy. She'll say, call me when you're done at the studio. That works. But anybody who is trying to interfere with my progress, return to sender. Next, I would say blocking my opportunities. I've had this happen before. I've had people who knew people that I needed to meet, and then they would try to defer them from meeting me, or they'd stand in the way some kind of way, or they'll provide information that they shouldn't, or that would incriminate me or make someone not want to deal with me in order for me to not get that opportunity. This is typically going to be done by those people who are around you that envy you. These are really, I just did a video on signs that obvious signs that she envies you. But if you envy me, you're out of there. Yeah, you're trying to sabotage me. You're trying to interfere with my progress. You're trying to block my blessings. Get out of there. Return to sender. Lastly, I would say gatekeeping helpful information. When you know something and I know you know it because I see you utilize that information, and then I come to you and I ask you, hey, how do you do that? Hey, where did you go to get that? Hey, how much did that cost? And you start playing mind games like you don't know. Oh, yeah, I don't even know. I don't even think they sell this anymore. Oh, I forgot where I got this. Oh, somebody else did this for me. You are trying to gatekeep helpful information. I don't have time for that. If I can't get it with you, what 50 Cent said, you get money, I can't get none with you, then you know the rest. So my point is gatekeeping helpful information and opportunities, you're out of there. Return to sender. And this could be somebody I'm dating, or it can be just a friend or family member. You're out of there. Return to sender. So like I said, I laughed when somebody told me that I'm an expert at staying single. But you know what? Being single, I do have a lot of time to focus. I do have a lot of time to better myself. I do have a lot of time to self-reflect. I do have a lot of time to work on my flaws and work on my progress without any distractions. So if I'm a pro at being single, then that just means I'm a pro at being focused, and I'm a pro at keeping my stress levels down, and I'm a pro at not being distracted, and I'm also a pro at not objectifying women. I don't feel like I need any poom poom. Okay, I'm not going to date somebody and tolerate their crap just so I can have access to them. Okay, and hopefully I'm talking to men who operate that same way. And if this video does validate you, or if you like it, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe. But if you are new to my channel, my name is Jerome, and this has been another episode of The Superb Word. Until next time, 2 fingers. All right.